Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Collegiate Rundown. We've got our second episode of the college football tournament, starting off with the South Atlantic Conference. Big one, kind of replaces the ACC. We got Florida, Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina in this. And here we go. Let's load up the tournament. This will only be about a 20-minute episode due to time constraints, but still should be a great one. 16-team tournament. First game up, App State, Coastal Carolina. And our winner is Coastal Carolina, 38-27. Next up, UCF versus USF. Great game. But the war on I-4 comes not only to the NIT, but to here. UCF, USF next up, and our winner is UCF. They beat the Bulls 38-31. NC State, South Carolina, a little Power 5 matchup. And the winner is NC State 34-20. Big win for NC State. And in December, everything on the line here. FAU, North Carolina. Could there be an upset? Do 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 do. And UNC blows them out of the water 44-7. Next up, Duke and Miami, a little ACC matchup. Do, 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 do. And the winner is the Canes 20-3. Bit of an upset there. Getting in, they'll face the winner of Wake Forest, East Carolina. And the winner is going to be Wake Forest, of course, 49-13. Still no major upsets here. Next up, we got Clemson, Florida. One of the best games of this first round. Huge matchup between heavyweights in this region. And the winner is Florida, 17-7. Big win for the Gators. They faced the winner of Florida State, Charlotte. Can Charlotte shock the world? No, they cannot. 36-14. And the Seminole, Coastal Carolina v. UCF. And the winner is UCF 38-24. And that puts UCF just 2 wins away from the college football playoff. Well, March college football in January. January Janks. We're still trying to find a name for that. North Carolina State, North Carolina. NC State won the ACC tournament in real life. How will it work in this one? NC State, UNC, both teams loading up for this incredible battle. And NC State takes the first lead. NC State by 13, 13-7. UNC by NC State by 6. UNC by 1. NC State touchdown, lead by 6, lead by 13. NC State wins 34-21. And NC State and UCF will battle it out in the first semifinal game. Next up, Miami Wake Forest. And the winner is Miami. On the final drive of the game, Wake Forest comes up short from Miami's 20, and Miami wins 42-35. And next up, Florida and Florida State, the second of our in-state of our state versus state matchups. Florida and Florida State facing off for a trip to battle Miami in the conference semifinals. And what a game! Florida wins at the very end, 17-16. And that brings us to our semifinals. NC State, UCF up next. And close battle. UCF leads. NC State leads. NC State. UCF by 1. NC State by 2. UCF by 5. NC State by 2. UCF by 8. UCF by 15. UCF by 22. And UCF wins 45-23. And UCF is now 1 win away from the college football playoffs. And next up, we got a big matchup between Florida and Miami. And the winner is the U by 21. 38-17. Big win for Miami. Miami versus UCF in the finals. Here we go. Live in Charlotte. And Colin Boomer to lead for UCF. No good. From 33. And touchdown UCF. Tied up. UCF leads. UCF by 14. UCF by 17. UCF by 20. UCF by 27. UCF by 34. And UCF wins 41-7. The Knights are going to the college football playoff out of a very tough conference. What a victory for them. And they should be really proud of this one. Next up, we got the Sunny Athletic Association. And it's a group stage, the biggest group stage of them all. Here we go. What a monstrosity this is. And first up, I don't even know if we'll finish the group stage in this. First up, Gardner-Webb versus Campbell. And the winners of our first group stage game is Campbell 17-14. And next up, Elon versus Presbyterian. And our winner is Presbyterian 1310. And next up, Wofford Stetson. And our winner is Stetson 2114. And next up, Florida Gulf Coast and NC Central. FG. Florida Gulf Coast. Florida Gulf Coast. Do, 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 do. F. Florida Gulf Coast. Where on earth are they? I do not believe Florida Gulf Coast is in there. They are not, which is interesting. And here's how we're gonna deal with that. We are going to go ahead and vacate all of their games. NC Central 0-0 victory. Next up, FIU Western Carolina. And our winner is Western Carolina 58-6. Pretty big FCS over FBS victory. South Carolina State, North Carolina A&T. And our winner is South Carolina State 34-3. Next up, Davidson versus Bethune-Cookman. And the winner is 38-0. Davidson with the victory. I think. I believe. Yes. Davidson, 38-0. And next up, Florida A&M versus Charleston Southern. And the winner is Florida A&M by 28-0. Gardner Webb Furman. Gardner Webb, I believe, our first team to repeat. And Furman wins 42-10, and also our first team to go to 0-2. Elon versus the Citadel. And Elon wins 10-3. Put up the same amount of points, but this time it's enough to beat the Citadel. Campbell Wofford. And the winner is Wofford 24-19. And Presbyterian FGCU odd situation. We're just going to go ahead and give that victory to Presbyterian 0-0. Davidson Stetson, our next game. And Davidson wins 24-14. And next up, FAMU NC Central. And the winner is NC Central 16-10. And next up, Bethune-Cookman versus Western Carolina. And the winner is Western Carolina 31-7. Charleston Southern, North Carolina A&T. And the winner is Charleston Southern 31-0. Quite a crushing of NCA&T. Gardner-Webb versus Wofford. But first, here, never mind. Gardner-Webb, Wofford. And the winner is Wofford 10-3. Pretty low scoring games here in the Sunny Athletic Association Conference Tournament. Elon FGCU gonna lose all of their games. Elon gets the victory. Furman versus Florida International. And can FIU finally beat an FBS team, or will they lose once again to an FCS team? They will 6-0. Quite a low scoring game, but FIU comes out there with another loss. Citadel, South Carolina State. And the winner is South Carolina State 27-10 versus in-state rivals, the Citadel. And next up, Campbell Davidson. And our winner is going to be Davidson 22-3. And next up, Presbyterian FAMU. And the winner is FAMU 24-10. See. And next up, we've got Western Carolina Stetson. And the winner is Western Carolina 37-7. Big win for Western Carolina as that keeps them on, and as that propels them back to the top of Group A. NCA&T, NC Central, big rivalry here on the line. And the winner is NC Central 41-7. And we are now through with pretty much almost all of round of the 8 games in each of them. And who's up top? We got Furman and Wofford. We got Western Carolina and Davidson, with Furman with a win in the game coming up after the break. would put them back up there. Would be below unless they win by 20, unless they somehow manage to win by a lot. But down below, we got two teams still undefeated: NC Central and South Carolina State. Bunch of teams nipping on their heels. This is going to be a great group stage. Cannot wait to see the rest of it after the break. And thank you for watching the. And here we go. We are back. Next game up, we've got Gardner Webb versus FIU. Sorry about the noise. I've had to transition rooms, and it's a little later in the day. But here we go. Gardner Webb wins 16-7. Wow, FIU is bad in the tournament, not showing what they can do. Definitely not an accurate representation, but we will go with it. Next up, got Elon and South Carolina State. And our winner is Elon 24-20. Big win for Elon. Next up, we got Wofford Davidson. And our winner is going to be Davidson 24-12. And then next up, got FGCU Florida A&M, obviously. Automatic win to A&M 0-0. Next up, Furman and Bethune-Cookman is actually going to be it. Oops, I just closed it up. Furman. And Bethune-Cookman. Here we go. And next up is winner is Furman 17-10. A little bit closer than I would think. Furman, of course, fighting to stay up there at the top of Division A, now 3-0. Next up, we got the Citadel and Charleston Southern. Inter-Charleston game. And the winner is Charleston Southern 6-3. What a brutal game. They're both teams in it. Campbell, Western Carolina. And the winner is Western Carolina 31-0. What a victory. And next up, we got Presbyterian NCA&T. And the winner is NCA&T getting their first win, 10-7. I believe their first win. Yes, their first win. And they are now finally in the win column. And next up, Gardner Webb versus Davidson. And Davidson wins 24-7. Next up, got Elon and Florida A&M. And our winner is Elon 20-6. Pretty nice for Elon. They are rolling 4-1, top of Group B. Somehow, Florida International over, and then Bethune-Cookman. Can FIU finally win against fellow bottom dweller Bethune-Cookman? And no, they can't. 27-7, and the FBS team is now 0-4. And next up, South Carolina State versus Charleston Southern. Charleston Southern. Here we go. And the winner is South Carolina State 13-6. And next up, we got Wofford versus Western Carolina. And the winner is 37-7, Western Carolina blowout. And next up, Florida Gulf Coast, NCA&T. NCA&T gonna get the auto win 0-0. Furman and Stetson up next. And our winner is Furman, 15-10. Good win for the Paladins as they stay undefeated. Citadel and NC Central. North Carolina Central, and the winner is NC Central, 31-10. And next up, we've got Gardner-Webb and Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman, and the winner is Gardner-Webb, 13-7. And next up, Elon Charleston Southern. And the winner is Elon, 3-0. Oh my God. Davidson versus Western Carolina. And the winner is Western Carolina, 33-16. Western Carolina now 6-0. Florida A&M versus NCA&T. And winner is Florida A&M, 10-3. And next up, Florida International versus Stetson. And the winner is Stetson, 21-12. FIU cannot win. And next up, South Carolina State versus NC Central. And I accidentally put in South Carolina, but NC Central won. Oh my God. But okay, South Carolina State. And NC Central wins, of course, 41-7, this time a little bit more than had they played the Gamecocks. Next up, Campbell Furman. Game, I believe they do play in the same conference. And Campbell wins 28-13. Huge, actually, win, putting Furman down. Next up, Presbyterian and the Citadel. And the winner is Presbyterian, 34-13. Big win. Next up, Gardner-Webb, Western Carolina. And Western Carolina shuts them out 27-0. And then Elon and North Carolina A&T. And the winner is Elon, 13-3. And now we are going to take a look at all the possible paths to victory as we get closer to the end of this incredible group stage. And for Western Carolina, 7-0. A loss by, with that point differential, a loss by either Davidson or Furman would pretty much guarantee them through from Group A, a very weak group. A lot of teams at the bottom of that one. And Group B, Elon, really, I'm not exactly sure how they're there. I think it's because it's sorted by wins. They will not be there if NC Central continues to win. Now, NC Central has a great points differential, and they're going to be If Elon loses again, I'm not sure who possesses the lead between them and FAMQ, but I believe it would be them. But depending on the point differential of their loss, that could get very interesting. So we will watch all of these situations play out. First up, Bethune-Cookman and Stetson. And the winner is, after two overtimes, Bethune-Cookman, so 34-30, but that does count as a draw, despite Bethune-Cookman winning the game. Charleston Southern NC Central. And the winner is NC Central 34-10. And next up, Campbell versus FIU. And the winner is Campbell 14-6. FIU still without a win. Campbell is now 3-0-3. Next up, Presbyterian SC State. And the winner is Presbyterian 31-10. And next up, it is Furman Wofford. Not Worcester. Just see who would not enough data. Okay. And the winner is Furman 20-6. Big win for them. The Citadel and then FCGU. Oh, right. And that is an auto win for the Citadel 0-0. Gardner Webb Stetson next. And the winner is Stetson 14-13 at the very end. And then next, Elon NC Central. And then Elon 24-9. Next up, Campbell versus Bethune-Cookman. And the winner is Campbell 14-3. And Presbyterian Charleston Southern. And the winner is Presbyterian 17-13. Okay, now we've got 6 games in each of them. There are few teams that could win it, and a few teams that will not. Now here's the Furman has a 30-point problem with differential against Davidson. Furman and Davidson are in the next game. If winner of that one controls their destiny, so a giant matchup in Group A coming up, likely going to be the decider of who goes through with Western Carolina, who is now clinched going through, and so I believe that to NC Central play Presbyterian. NC Central and Presbyterian will play, however, I do not think it will matter because NC Central would have to lose by -30. Would have to take basically a miracle for Presbyterian to pass NC Central. But we will keep an eye out for this. Congratulations to Actually, I believe that that NC Central would pass Elon with a win, but Elon has clinched going through. So congratulations to Elon and Western Carolina on clinching the going through. NC Central and Presbyterian and Davidson and Furman still the only remaining ones. Furman and Davidson up next, a massive game. Here we go. And the winner is Davidson. What a game! 27-24. And Davidson now 6-0-1 and leads point differential by a decent amount, controls their own destiny. All they have to do is beat winless FIU or have Furman lose to Western Carolina. This Citadel FAMU. Here we go. Again, another dead game. And next up is FAMU 22-10. And then Wofford FIU. And the winner of Wofford FIU is FIU. FIU finally wins something 10-6. And I'm sure that gives a little confidence to Furman. They just have to pray that Davidson loses by a lot to FIU. FGC, USC State, and SC State, of course, gonna get the default win. Campbell Stetson up next. And Campbell wins 28-0. And next up, Presbyterian versus NC Central. And the winner is Presbyterian 10-0. Bit of an upset. Major upset, actually. Presbyterian passes NC Central. Head-to-head matters. Oh my God. Presbyterian wins it and takes it over from NC Central. Holy cow. Furman, Western Carolina. Furman has to win to keep their slim hopes alive. But as we've seen, anything can happen in December. 3 overtimes. Furman wins. But it's going to be a draw. 37-33. 3 overtimes. Furman pulls out the win. And I'm not sure what would happen if Davidson loses, but I think they're through. Citadel NCA&T. And the winner is 7-3 NCA&T. And finally, Wofford Bethune-Cookman. Another unimportant game. These colleges have played all week here. This Wofford wins 21-17. And then FGCU Charleston Southern, and Charleston Southern is going to get another W added to the column. And finally, FIU Davidson. Furman, I believe, is completely out, but the way this thing works is still somewhat unknown to me. And the winner of FIU Davidson. Davidson leads 3-0, 13-0, 23-0, 26-3, 33-10, 50-17. Davidson victory. And that is quite a resounding way for Davidson to be on to here And finally, South Carolina State, Florida A&M. Final game of this great group stage. And the winner is FAMU 38-17. And we'll take a look at the final group standings. Western Carolina and Davidson go through Furman just behind them, Campbell behind them, and then a pretty bad bottom five, none of them above 500, and a really strong top with a really weak bottom in Group B. Elon, FAMU at the top five, all being at least at 500, and then the rest being 3 and 5. FGCU, of course, gives them all a boost. Not a single undefeated team, unlike Western Carolina, whose only thing was a draw at the hands of a incredible game against Furman. And here we go, Western Carolina, Florida A&M, who what? Oh my God. Presbyterian's victory, and we didn't even account for Florida A&M, who sneaks in above Presbyterian. I believe they did have the head-to-head. Let's take a look. Presbyterian and FAMU. Yeah, they did. Oh my God. Florida A&M sneaks in out of nowhere to win, to qualify from Group B. Holy cow. It is December and it is crazy. Western Carolina, Florida A&M. Huge, absolutely incredible scenes. Western Carolina 3-0, tied at 3, 6-3, 9-3. Florida A&M takes the lead 10-9. Crazy way they got in. 16-10, 16-13, 23-13. Western Carolina wins 23-13. Incredible scenes. Absolute madness. Next up, Davidson and Elon. All of the teams here to show their support to their former opponents. And Davidson leads 7-0. Davidson 10-0. Davidson 10-7. Elon rolling 14-10. Elon still roll. Davidson 17-14. Davidson wins 17-14. Oh my goodness. And it's, I believe, going to be two teams that from the same group, Group A, coming in. It's going to be Western Carolina and Davidson. Let's take a look at how they went. Western Carolina won 33-16 in the group stage matchup of these two. Western Carolina Davidson are the finals of the Sunny Athletic Association Conference Tournament. And Davidson 3-0, 6-0, 9-0 on kicks, 9-7 on kicks, 14-9. Western Carolina 17-9, 29, 2016, 23-16, and we're all tied up at 23. Western Carolina by 7. And Cole Gonzalez, incomplete. Then Western Carolina are your Sunny Athletic Conference champions, never losing in this tournament, 30-23. Huge victory, incredible scenes, and thank you for watching the Collegiate Rundown. And we will be back for episode 3 and some more leagues soon. Thank you again for watching.